What's up everyone, Riley here, and I am delivering a requested review for the first 3 volumes of the series the Great Priest Imhotep. The Great Priest Imhotep, this is a series about the ancient Egyptian priest Imhotep basically being thrust into modern day Japan to hunt down these monsters called Magi. And it's got a modern setting with the ancient Egyptian priest hunting down those monsters, and as the series goes on we learn more about his past, his connections to what's going on, and we get introduced to a lot of other familiar names from ancient Egyptian mythology and history. So I grabbed the series, I'll be honest, because seeing the first volume solicited, I was very intrigued by the ancient Egyptian motif. I would be lying if I didn't say it was because I'm a big fan of Yu-Gi-Oh! And I enjoy the ancient Egyptian motif over there. And obviously looking at this, it gave me kind of the same feeling as the Yu-Gi-Oh! Series did, with all the different ornamental costume and stuff that, I don't know if you call it costume, but the ornamental garb that they're wearing and just the ancient Egyptian style and stuff. So I went into it thinking that we would be following Imhotep in a story that kind of takes place in ancient Egypt. I was expecting kind of in my mind, I was like, oh, this is probably going to be like the Millennium World arc of Yu-Gi-Oh! Where we are in ancient Egypt, and it was going to be about Imhotep fighting against whatever, be it monsters or whatever else, in ancient Egypt. But getting that first volume, maybe a month or two after it initially came out, and reading it, I found that my expectations for the series were completely wrong. Instead of visiting ancient Japan, instead we get kind of a reverse isekai, if you will, whereas in the isekai usually you get someone from the modern day normal world and they are thrust into some sort of historical or fictional fantastic world where different stuff happens to them that, or a video game world that, kind of a fish out of water thing. But here it's the reverse, in which you have the person from the fantastical world, this ancient Egyptian kind of fictionalized version of that is thrust into the normal world, into modern day normal Japan, where they interact with, high school students and stuff like that. So right off the bat, my expectations were completely thrown out the window, because I was thinking about something basically the completely different was going to be the focus of the series. But usually I give a title at least 3 volumes to show me whether I want to continue with it or not. 1 volume, 2 volumes, you can kind of tell whether you're going to enjoy something. But by volume 3, I feel like if a series has not grabbed me and doesn't give me a reason to continue, then that's the point where I feel like I have enough material to make an authoritative decision of yes, I like this, or no, I don't. And unfortunately, sometimes for me, I become quite habitual in just continuing to buy something even after that point, thinking, oh, it was decent, so I'll continue with that. So the first volume of kind of acts as a lot of exposition, as most manga does in the first volume. So I didn't want to judge it from there. And I was kind of, while I got a different story than I was expecting, I was a fan of the style of the artwork throughout the series. Just a decent, kind of shonen art. I liked the basic premise of him hunting down these ancient Egyptian demons or monsters or what have you, and I'm looking for a good example of that kind of stuff. And here's some good decent artwork from the series. But I wasn't really taken aback by it. It did, however, have a good cliffhanger at the end where we're teased the introduction of another character. And I figure, okay, this is going to give us kind of the, if not the antagonist, then some sort of rival for our protagonist, giving us, like the Vegeta to our Goku, if you will. So I was like, okay, this cliffhanger from Volume 1 is enough to make me want to continue and read Volume 2 and maybe Volume 3. So I went ahead and I ordered the second and third volumes with, the hopes that going forward it would get more intriguing, more quality as far as the storytelling goes. So I read Volume 2 when eventually, a couple months after that, reading the first volume, I finally got my hands on it. And it really didn't do too much for me. Yes, it introduced another character, and it does kind of delve a little bit deeper into the history of the characters here and why what is going on, and it does start introducing more characters from the, actual ancient Egyptian timeline and some names that are familiar. But as far as the actual plot goes, it was entirely forgettable. I couldn't tell you the specifics about a lot of the plot, even though I read these books not that long ago. I just found myself kind of glossing over the pages and forgetting what was actually going on and just trying to enjoy the artwork that was given to me. So I get to the third volume and we have this, basically dollar store version of Gaara on the cover. And it's more of the same, introducing more characters, decent artwork from a shonen title. You have, kind of fun interpretations of these various people, but still doesn't do anything to provide anything deep. You can see here a good example of, it's got decent shonen artwork, but it just doesn't do anything to provide anything deep as far as the story goes, to keep me entangled in trying to find out what's going to happen next. It at least kept me long enough to get to the end of the third volume, and by the end of the third volume, again, we have a really well done cliffhanger, a tease at introducing another ancient Egyptian person from history that actually existed. And it's intriguing enough that I found myself thinking, I do kind of want to pick up the fourth volume and see where it goes from here. And I'm telling myself, well, it's only 11 volumes long. It's complete in Japan. With only 11 volumes, it's not that big of a commitment, so not a big deal. But I had to really step out of myself and consider, what am I really continuing to read this for? I really don't care about what's going on. Am I just trying to fulfill the commitment that I feel like I've already made? And that's all in my own personal issues that, I have. I wind up being kind of a completist when it comes to getting books. You can see I have tons of books around me. And a lot of that is because I'll start something that I think is decent and feel like I owe it to myself to continue all the way through, even if I never think it's more than decent. So I had to really reassess my personality when it came to this series and ask myself, do you really care about reading the other 3/4 of this book? And at the end of the day, I had to tell myself, no, I really don't. And with that, I'd say I'm not going to be continuing reading this series. And I hate doing poor reviews. I hate, because that means that I spent money on, luckily I got them for pretty cheap, but I spent money on something that I didn't enjoy. And that really stinks for me. And I'm just trying to give other people that view of, why I wasn't terribly impressed with this and what you can expect from this series if you do want to still try it out. Because I think this is definitely something that people will enjoy. This is something that's, like everything, not everything is for everyone, but it wasn't for me. So if you're looking at this and similarly to me, you're excited about something that has that ancient Egyptian kind of motif behind it, just keep in mind that you're not spending time in ancient Egypt with these characters. These are really, really, really like dumbed down versions made to have that kind of attractive shonen protagonist, shonen character gloss over them, the kind that, people become attracted to for various reasons. And there's really not a lot of depth behind it. And I know there's probably going to be someone that disagrees with me who pops up in the comments on this video saying, this is a great series and whatever. And I respect your opinion on that, and that's absolutely cool and fine. It just wasn't for me, and I just want to inform people about what to expect if they're trying to go into this series. I was requested to do a review on it, and here's my review. So if you are a fan, I'm sorry if, that I'm not, but, it'll be like that sometimes. So anyway, that was the first 3 volumes of the Great Priest Imhotep, published by Yen Press. That's my opinion on it. I think that it's available on Comixology, so you can read it digitally, probably for cheaper if you just want to try it out. But yeah, that's my thought on that. So thank you so much for watching this review. If you noticed, I'm using a different camera. So I'm usually using my cell phone camera rather than my Canon camera, the nicer one with a nicer microphone and stuff. So I'm hoping that the difference in video and audio quality is actually noticeable here. I'm trying to do more to increase the quality of the videos that I put out and increase not just the quality of content, but the amount of content. So you should be seeing, if you've been watching my channel, you should be noticing a difference in the material that I'm putting out and the amount of material. If you're new to the channel, then thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you decide to stick around, subscribe, and watch some of the other stuff that I have, because I'll be producing a lot of fun, interesting, and informative content about comics, manga, and other things for everyone to enjoy. So again, thank you so much for watching on this review. If you have any other requested reviews like this one, I did have someone ask me, please review these books. I am open to taking requests on reviews. Just let me know. If it's something I haven't read, I'll do my best to sit aside and read it and then get it reviewed so that I can give people what they're asking for. Otherwise, again, please consider, if you haven't already, subscribe, comment, like, all that jazz. And I look forward to seeing y'all on the next one. Peace out.